ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. See, masters can and always try to answer any questions, but there are some questions which they do not answer. And it is not that they don't have any answers, but because truth is often discomforting for the questioner. Now, a couple approached a master for a private audience at the end of his discourse. No smile on their face when they came into room, and they sat down for first couple of minutes in the presence of the master. The husband began crying loudly. So master said that was a healing taking place, and so he let the tears roll down for the next couple of minutes from the eyes of the gentleman. So his wife kept all this observing, and while looking at master, she too was crying silently. So after some time, the husband wiped his tears, composed himself, and heaved a sigh deeply. Then he tried to speak, and both wife and husband were crying together now. The master stroked their heads gently and lovingly, like a parent strokes a weeping child. Then the master said, "Whatever it is, I will help you to deal with it. Your loss is irrecoverable, but there is light." And the couple said exclaimingly, "Oh, you know, master, you know everything." Then wife said to master, "Master, it is the first time he is crying after 5 years, and I had been worried very much about him." She is referring to her husband. Then the gentleman said, "Let me speak and tell my story." Then the husband began to narrate his story to the master. "It was my 58th birthday. I had 2 sons and 2 daughters. So we all went out for a family dinner and had a great time. We returned back home. The next day morning, my eldest son committed suicide by slitting his wrist in a bathtub. So, the husband shared more details about the suicide note his son had left behind and other things that were going on in his life. He said that they never went out to dine again or celebrate any occasion. And he further said, Master, we are Catholics ardently. My son never missed any Sunday service. He knew very well that suicide is a sin. He was a brave kid. And why did he act so cowardly, Master? Then the master told him like this, I felt your pain. There is no grief other than the grief of a parent who lost their child before they are gone. Then the gentleman interfered and told the master, everyone thinks that we are responsible for his death. I feel guilty. Master, was I a bad father? Why did he do this? He was only 24. Then the master said, do you want to know the truth as I see it, or do you want to hear what the Holy Book says? Then the couple replied, we believe you, Master. Give us the truth. Then the master said like this, it is true that most religions regard suicide as a sin. Most religions regard suicide as a sin. It is very true. But scriptures in various religions refer to body as a temple of God. So all this is fine. But the truth is, religions can be so dry and out of place in the face of real grief. This was not, you are not the first couple I met who had lost their child to suicide. And like at other such times, I did not want to quote books, however holy or godly they may be. Then the master continued, your son committed no sin. The cause of death can be any. We are all traveling on the same train of life. Each one of us has to get off at some station or other. Some disembark earlier, they break journey sooner. That is what death is. It is a break, a pause, albeit a deeply uncomfortable pause. Master continued further. If you believe me, then let me tell you. I don't believe suicide is a sin, and I don't think it is a cowardly act. Your son is not in hell nor denied heaven. His soul will simply find a new home. And you are not responsible for the death of your son. The idea to take one's own life arises from a deep depression. It is the most devastating outcome of a mental disorder. Just like a doctor is not responsible for a patient's cancer, a parent can never be responsible for a child's death by suicide. Then the father interfered and said, Master, I had an argument a week earlier, but I thought he had made up. Then Master asked the husband, was it the first time that you had an argument? Then the father said, no. Then the master said, so the argument was not the trigger or the cause. It was his own state of mind. Your loss is immense, Master said and added, the wound is deep. It will take a very long time to heal. No one can replace your son. But, my dear, by not living your life, don't you think that you are doing injustice to yourselves and your other children also? The energy in the room at once changed. It was as if they woke up from a bad dream. The couple felt. Suddenly the couple realized that only by mourning their son's death, they were denying the gift of life to their other children. It was a moment of festival or a celebration for them. The father said, "Oh Master, I feel a load is off my chest. You are right. We must live for our other children, for ourselves, and for our Savior." So the husband and wife both smiled, looked at each other lovingly, and then laughed at the master softly. Master said, I think to call suicide a cowardly act is to severely downplay the illness of the one who has left this world. Their pain must have been so great. I mean, the persons who have committed suicide, their pain must have been so great, so colossal. Their path was so dark, and the only way they saw was to end their own life. Only humans commit suicide. We have all these religious theories, and we think that life is supposed to be in a certain way. Every time life hands us the pink slip, we feel betrayed and lost. We think life is unfair, like the impatient child who wants a candy, and we are eager to taste its sweetness again and again. We are like children who are eager to taste the sweetness of life again and again. We want to come out of our misery. We crave for an instant solution. See, Master said further, human mind is a strange phenomenon. In its cruel moments, it can make death appear more beautiful than life, more attractive than any other dream. But still, that does not mean death is a choice. Master continued, suicide is not a voluntary act or a conscious selection. No matter how it appears, no one chooses to end their life. However difficult and miserable life is, if suicide was a matter of choice, many would have gone for it by now wholeheartedly. Suicide is a terminal disease. It is the final stage of a mental illness. If you have persistent thoughts of suicide, you must seek help right away. So, feeling suicidal does not mean your life is bad. Master said, it means that your depressed mind has taken complete control of you. It means that your freedom of thought is under siege by your own mind. There is always a way to restore beauty in your life. And when death seems to be the only door, you are not looking in the right direction. Then the Master said like this, there is a beautiful story. You see, a famous preacher was in a park. So he overheard a boy talking to his friend. So the boy was telling there was no God. Then the preacher who was observing the boy saying like this asked the boy, please come to my sermon, my dear boy. I will show you the path to God. Then The boy asked like this: why is it sin though horse, cow, deer, they eat same stuff, I mean grass, but evacuate differently. So deer excretes pellets, cow excretes flat patty, and horse produce clumps. So after hearing this, the question from the boy, the preacher said, I have no idea, my dear boy. Don't you think a bit too much to say that you will show me the path to God when you do not know even the shit, said the boy to the preacher. So the master said, shed your fears, your theories, and your beliefs for a moment. Listen to your inner voice. Nothing or no one should instill fear in you or make you feel guilty. This life, this moment, this is it. This is the truth. This is the only heaven and hell. As we are here, we may live it. Let us flow with the river of life. Whatever be your past, put it aside, let it go. Make your present so beautiful, worthwhile, and meaningful that even death sits by your feet and begs you to stay a bit longer, because with you around, even death enjoys life. You should lead such a beautiful and meaningful life. Be grateful, serve others, take up a cause greater than yourself, and I promise life will take a whole new meaning and entirely a new dimension, the master concluded. So, that is the beauty of life. Thank you.